What up, it's Mr. X to the Z Xzibit, and you watching This Is 50.
Whew, this is 50.com. The Heineken is here, sitting towards my left. Oh, sitting towards my left. We got a legend, man.
Oh, thank you,
X
man.
to the Z.
Yeah, thank you, G.
You know, like, let's just keep it real, man. I watched you on TV for a lot of fucking years.
All right.
And we're in the same age bracket. I'm like, yo, this guy right here's getting money differently. Man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're in this lane, you're in that lane, and off camera you said it's about equity and ownership.
Yes.
Xzibit, how have you been able to transition in this industry effectively? Because you've been through a lot, man.
Yeah.
Publicly, you know, from family, your finances, everything.
Yeah.
How have you survived?
Man, I just, I don't let that define me. You know, what I do is I, accept the wins and the losses, and I learn from it. You know, I try not to repeat the same shit, but I never let nobody pigeonhole me. So that's where it comes from.
What was a loss you thought like, shit, man, how did this happen? How did I get myself into this? How am I gonna get out of it?
Yeah, I mean, no matter what kind of financial loss, it compares nothing to losing a child. So I think when my son Xavier passed was like one of the most difficult times for me to try to rebound on, because it was compounded. There was other things happening, of course, but I think that was kind of like the kick in the chest.
What puts you in a position to like catapult back to being Xzibit, being the father, being the businessman? Because a lot of people rely on you too, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What was that moment?
I think it was just, sitting around and, feeling sorry for yourself, don't get shit done. So it was like, get off your fucking ass and get back to work. And so it starts small and then get big,
You're one of the first dudes, man, especially, coming up, because you dabbled in everything, movies, music, entrepreneurship. Like, where did that come from to where, because in the time frame you started rapping, that wasn't the thing to do.
Right.
But like you, Jay-Z, Puff were ushering that wave in, but it was still kind of,
Right. Well, I mean, you have to be good at more than one thing in order to survive in this industry, because it's constantly evolving now, along with technology. People are creating everything, creating every day, and being able to get equity bigger than before. If we don't start thinking that way, we're gonna just continue to be consumers and not owners.
I mean, where does the shift start to get us out of that consumer mind state?
Just see.
That's a lot of years of programming we gotta.
Yeah, I mean, to put it simple, man, you have to look past what you can see. You gotta be able to not just be impressed by the appearance of something, but be impressed by the economics of it.
The economics. What's the best direction you would give for young artists right now, man, or artists that came in with you that's trying to find a way to evolve and elevate, man?
I mean, it's different. I mean, the way people create now is different. So I think what I would tell the young artists is just be just as good at business as you are in the studio. Just make sure you got, you're never too busy to pay your own bills. Don't be like you're not a rapper if you get a contract or you got a billion streams or and then you have to get a business manager and you got all the props of being a rapper. You can be yourself.
Yeah.
Just make sure that you handling your finances the way you need to handle it, and you're never too busy to pay your own bills.
That's a fact, man. I mean, that's the best way to go. Because the way you speaking. What was your thoughts on that Jay-Z verse on that Meek Mill album?
I mean, murdered it. That whole album is crazy. You know what I'm saying? I really love not only the story behind where Meek Mill brought himself back from and put out an album, a project like that. But I mean, Jay-Z is beginning, to I think he's an alien. You know what I'm saying? He continues to get better as we go along, and I'm never surprised by what he can accomplish. But he's definitely put that in the hip hop, and it resonated. It rang.
What's Hollywood like? Because you're an actor. Let's just keep it real. like you're not just a guest star. You know, you're not just here 8 Mile, Triple X, Empire, like various things. You got the SAG, you know what I mean?
Well, that
you
SAG
got
card is popping.
Huh?
SAG card
is
is popping.
like, how did you enter into the world? What is it like? What is the mindset aside from being a music artist?
It's different. You know, music I could do organically, but acting is something I have to work at. You know, I had to learn to do and work with other actors and become, you know, more fluid with what I was saying and make it a complete thought and not think about the lines, but think about the moment. All of these things have to be worked on, you know? So I didn't think I could walk in and be like, all right, just because I have a name in music, I should be able to do certain things. You know, Hollywood will give you enough rope to either climb up or hang yourself, you know what I'm saying?
The fact that you got roots in the Midwest and also West Coast, what was it like being on 8 Mile with M? Like, break that, because that's just a different,
man. You know, anything to do with my brothers coming out of Detroit, you know, Royce, D12, M, you know, Trick, you know, on and on, man. I got roots there, man. Every time I get to go back and work in that area, it's a blessing. You know, some of my family still lives there. So I love going back to Detroit. I love working with those guys, and even being in the same realm and seeing how we came through the same struggle, man. That shit was crazy.
Any like dope organic interaction or stories that nobody ever got to hear with you and M? You know, it don't got to be nothing controversial.
No, man.
You know
I mean, we had a lot of fun, man. We did a lot of great things. You know, we made some really dope records. We had some really fun time on the road, you know. And I mean, I got nothing bad to say about my brothers, you know what I'm saying?
Anything that sticks out where you like, yo, this is, because you know, this is before the cameras is around.
Yeah.
And it's
that's good. No, I'm going to leave it right there. Nah, I'm going to leave it right there, man. Nah, we ain't gonna bring shit like that back.
No,
up.
I know what you mean, but like,
yeah, thank God, man, thank God. You know, I'm gonna just leave it right there.
Because you know, from the angle I'm coming from, I remember the Locks did an interview, and one of the stories they would tell is Biggie was a great bartender. And people didn't know that he was just great at mixing drinks, getting the party ready. That's more of the flow I'm coming from in that angle.
Yeah.
Anything that resonates, you feel me?
I always had a camera back in the day, and I got a box full of tapes. I'd have to look at it. I'd have to look at it and see exactly what it is. I got a lot of shit from Europe. I got a lot of shit from shows that we did, dumb, you know, shit we used to do. I don't know, I gotta look back at it, but I'm pretty sure there's some shit on there.
What was it like being on Empire before, you know, they took out your character? You caught 3 seasons, so you know when they do the reruns, that residual gonna be a little different.
It's gonna be nice, man. This is my first network television show. I was really excited about being on there. Thanks for, you know, Lee Daniels and the rest of the guys over there that brought me over. You know, working with the production staff, it was fantastic. Taraji, Terrence, some of the most professional, high level performance, you know, that come out of them on these sets is dope, man, because they really bring it and they really believe, you know, in what they're doing. So it comes out on the screen.
You know what character I could see you playing, man?
What's that?
Something in Power where you're related to King.
Absolutely, man. Yo.
You be like, pow, pow, pow.
Yo.
They're doing a remake of The Last Dragon.
Oh, word?
Yeah, you might be able to play Showing Up.
Showing Up.
You a buster, man.
That's fucked up, man.
You got the voice of the look.
Kiss my Converse. Shit, man.
That would be interesting, man. But
no, it wouldn't, man.
Yes, it would. Like, kiss my fucking Jordan.
2018.
2018. Financially too, man. Like I heard that you have other businesses going on. Can you speak on that?
Yeah, I mean we got different things that we, you know, have going on in Los Angeles. Really proud of what we're doing. You know, we got a part of a cannabis company that's doing really well. We relaunched Open Bar Entertainment. We have so many irons in the fire, and I think that's what the motivation comes from. Bringing in good people executing, and then being able to stand behind your work. You know, that's what we do here at Open Bar. That's what we doing over at Brass Knuckles, and you know, we're really proud of what we created.
Question: what would be the advice you would want to give to minorities, people that look like us, to get into the cannabis business? Because this is a multi-billion-dollar business, and I don't want it to be set up to where, you know, we could set up our generations for good, but I could see them getting wiped out and not getting in the game. Like, what would be some, you know, ideas, investments?
Well, first of all, it's not about just investing, because you know, nothing good comes easy. So you can't expect to just be able to hit a lick. It's not that. It's not like that. It's not like that. In order to be in the cannabis business, you have to pay attention to your city and state regulations. Look at the laws, see what's going on in your local area, see what's permitted, what's not permitted, and then you got to put paint where it ain't. You know, and find people that are qualified to do what they're doing. If you decide to go any route, whether it be manufacturing, whether it be distribution, you have to be able to have competent people, or else you're gonna throw your money out the window. You might as well went to the club. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's very important that you know what's happening legally and what's happening with the manufacturing, because those two things are going to make you able to be sustained. You're just not going to be able to open up a weed shop if you don't know when they're going to pass the laws and the bills, you know, when they're going to give out the licenses. So you have to be able to go find out where these people are, find out what the state regulation, when it's going to pass, you know, and then you have to be there and be present. And then from there, make sure your shit is able to be justified. And I think you have to start there. Now, wherever direction you go, whether it be from distribution, manufacturing, you know, or cultivation, it's all about knowing what's going on with the state and pretty soon the federal regulations.
Long story short, you can't be a bum ass nigga, B. Like, even if you got the money. Because the thing I see with the cannabis culture is gonna become like, you know, beer, Budweiser, you know, Cavassier, you know, Hennessy.
Right.
And I just want to be able to see how people really get the, you know, the foundation, the real estate.
We have to do it because we worked for it, not because we believe we're entitled. So, you know, we have to do the due diligence. We have to go out there. Just because we've been on it don't mean that we don't have to play by the rules. So, you know, if we don't play by the rules, then you will see a Marlboro cannabis cigarette. You will see a Red Bull cannabis, you know, infused drink. You will see this, but it's not about just us being hip and selling to each other. We know we have to make things that are able to be produced for the world, you know, and not just for the hip hop community, for the entire community.
Now, what's your thoughts on now? Like, you know, so many of our people from our culture got locked up, you know, trying to feed their family. Now the laws have shifted. You feel me? What's your take on that now that the laws have shifted? It's pro-cannabis.
Well, it's interesting because in California, they passed a bill that allows people that have been incarcerated for non-violent marijuana-related crimes to be, you know, basically they're going to be released, I believe, and then or they won't be, if they were in a 3-strike situation because of that, then, you know, I guess it won't affect them.
I like that.
But on top of that, people that are getting let out of prison because of these, you know, because the law changed, they'll be able to be put into the front of the line as far as being able to get licenses in order to do manufacturing, distribution.
I like that.
Yeah,
you know,
empowerment.
Certain,
I don't quote me on exactly what that is, but I know that is being done in California.
Question, man. Do you regret doing Pimp My Ride?
No, not at all.
You know what it is? Hindsight's 2020. Let's just keep it all the way to fuck real.
But at the time, I did feel some kind of way because I did feel like it was like taken away from the credibility that I had built with the music.
You know what's crazy about it? I just felt like everything you've ever done has always been ahead of the time. Because now the car culture is different.
Right.
Like that's a different era, and you are like literally you, Flex, Envy, like the first 3 guys in the culture to really pushed the car culture forward, and you were ahead of everybody. Now to see it come full circle, I would like to see you get your just due, because you was already there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just how I look at it. You know,
That's
from
it.
the McLarens, from the Ferraris, the Lambo. You know what I mean?
I got it. No, we were the first.
Point blank.
You know, we were the first, man.
You put gas on the scene, RBD, like all these
West
companies
Coast,
now, they got their own YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You know, they flourish, and they took the model from what was doing production, and they're doing it on their own.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's just interesting to see.
Well, we all gained from that, because now it's a worldwide, recognition for Xzibit. Whether they know me from that show, whether they know me from music, whether they know me from, movies, it's still being recognized. And I think that's what I take away the most from Pimp My Ride. I mean, and plus, I like the fact that we were first, and I could put that down. And
Point blank.
I will
no one can
always
take
have
that.
I'll always have that, and so if we ever did a reboot or something like that, it might not be as successful as Pimp My Ride was, so I don't.
It's different, man. Like when we get off camera, you're gonna see it. Like it's a little bit more cinematic the way they do it. Yours was more family orientated. It was more homely. This is like, it feels like a music video.
Yeah.
And I think you really, because of your legacy in that, you could really capitalize on it in a different capacity. That's just me.
Yeah, no, I get it, man. Trust me, ever since, a decade ago when the show went off the air, niggas every year have hit on my door like, hey, man, you sure you don't want to, yeah, this thing over here.
Yeah.
Nah, but I've been blessed to be able to do, much more than that, and it's good, man. I know people appreciate it, but like I said, if it was about ownership and being just about the business side, because again, remember back to the conversation, you got to be just as good as business as you are an artist.
What is some business advice you can give in terms of like what you think artists should purchase first? Where should they invest their money?
My grandfather taught me about money one way. He said, don't buy, if you can only afford to buy it once, you can't afford it. So, if you can afford to buy it 3 times, then you can buy it. So that's all you need to know. I can't tell you what to buy or how to buy it or when to buy it, but just know, if you ain't got enough to buy it 3 times, you can't afford it.
Highlights of your career, man, even though you're still active and going, what stands out in your mind as X to the Z Xzibit, man? Shit. What are some things you look back like, man, I did this shit. My kids are gonna be like, yeah, that was my pops.
All of my shit, man. The fact that I'm still here,
I know.
That's it. the fact that I made it this far. They're part of me regardless of whether it's entertainment or not. I mean, the fact that we here and we flourish and we all love each other, that's accomplishment enough.
What was it like coming up on the West Coast music scene at the time you were coming up, man?
Shit, man. It was just like coming up here, man. Yeah. Like fucking, hip hop, blunts, beers, bitches, and fucking, and partying. It was just cold as fuck up here. That's the same shit.
Because it's just a different culture out there. Let's just keep it real.
Yeah, for sure. You got the gang shit, but we was doing music and that was happening around us and sometimes to us, but it was all about the same shit though. We love the hop, and that's what brought us all together. That's what brought me to New York. That's what brought me to Loud. That's what all of these things, man. It's the same shit, different toilet.
If you could do a cipher with yourself in it, like what other 4 MCs would you put? Like a 5 Fingers of Death cipher.
5 Fingers of Death cipher?
Yes.
Damn.
To put 4 that you be like, yo, we know we're gonna body this, and each one of us is gonna motivate us.
Oh man, you gotta put Royce in there.
Royce.
Off top.
Let me tell you something. The moment I see Royce with a rocket launcher in a video when he had beef with somebody, I said, this is a different type of Detroit nigga.
Yeah.
He had a rocket launcher.
Yo, that's a go-to.
All right, we got Royce, Xzibit, 3 more.
Oh, 3 more. Shit, man. I don't know, man. It's too many monsters out there. Yeah, I might say the wrong nigga and be like, what,
like, you
nigga?
forgot about me, nigga?
What, nigga?
Nigga, we rolled the blunt together, nigga. Fuck. Fuck you, man.
No, man. I don't know. Next question.
Any young dudes you'd like to hop on a song with,
Yo, man, I'll just, if they did approach me to do something like that, fuck, let me hear it. You know what I'm saying? At least hear it. But I mean, I like people that do lyrical shit. So
like Kendrick.
Yeah, I mean, like all of that. I don't think I would do well on a trap beat. You know what I'm saying?
You don't think so?
I don't think I do
The
well.
voice
on
and
a
the
trap
up tempo that you got.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I haven't tried it. To be honest.
Because you got a unique, like, vibration to how your voice comes on the track. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I just think automatically it's respected and it comes at a different tone. That's just me.
But don't you think it's weird? Like, like for me as an MC, it was like from I don't know, man. I just don't want to be the old nigga in the club doing the young nigga shit. You know what I'm saying?
True Life said the same thing too. I just think
I don't want to be that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to. I don't want to even know what that feels like.
From that perspective, I get it.
Oh,
you ain't trying to. I'm trying to be around you, nigga.
Here come Xzibit. I'm at the top of the living. Some of the gun the simming and some of the number I'm at the gun
Yo, you gotta record that.
What was he saying? That's way better than all your shit put together.
Yo,
come on, man. I'm not dissing it. I'm just saying, like, it would be difficult for me to.
It's the same thing. When you get older, you're not trying to force yourself to be back to 20-year-old X.
No.
You earn the right to be at the place.
Be comfortable. You know what? I don't have to do that. I just have to do what I do extremely well. And the production value got to be right. I mean, people love hip hop.
Yeah.
It ain't just about one thing. It's about, doing what you do really well, because the middleman is out the way and there's no artist development. You just come outside. You got to come outside ready to go.
Speaking of artist development, you was around 50 Cent early days. What was that like, man?
Man, I saw 50 when he came in, and from what he's done with his career, and what he's done with his TV production, and what he's done with his music and his business mind is really dope. You know what I'm saying? It's like really dope to see. And so, I don't know, man. Who would have thought from that spark, you know what I'm saying, and getting on with Shady and rocking and coming out with the records and how huge that movement was and continues to be. It's like, my nigga, 50. My nigga.
Are we ever gonna, I think you could pull this off. You just talk to Dr. Dre, be like, yo, nigga, drop this detox, B.
Nah, man, Dr. Dre's Dr. Dre, man.
Like, the fuck you doing, B?
Yeah, you ain't gonna understand the mindset.
I heard he's like a different, eclectic, and he's very anal about every particular sound, which makes sense because everything he's put up.
As he has the right to be.
As he earned the right. Let's just keep it all the way
absolutely.
real.
Yeah.
I just think right now they've been like, yo, man, like throw that shit on Spotify, nigga.
Man, it's been said before, but I believe that when he's ready to put out music, then he'll put out music.
Have you heard some of that?
Yes.
You ain't trying to steal some of that shit?
No. Absolutely not.
Oh, man. Yo, we got X to the Z Xzibit, man. Let them know where they can get you at, boss, man.
Yo, man, at Xzibit on all social media platforms. X to the Z Xzibit. This is 50.
We might see him on the new Game of Thrones, man.